Most children walk into Claremont Immersion School in Arlington, Virginia, speaking only their native language. By the end of 5th grade, they walk out bilingual in English and Spanish. But they take a lot of different pathways to that end result. For English language learners, the pathway involves several different supports, depending on what students need. In Amanda Reynolds' 4th grade classroom, she provides word study assignments at several different levels, including a level for Gian Carlos. He arrived in the United States from Colombia last fall. He's fluent in Spanish and has little experience in English.
There's another word, I think.
Mouse.
I try and make modifications for him so that he can be understanding what we're talking about. And I try to differentiate for his level as well. So for example, today in word study, I have my word study groups all spread out throughout the room, and I had a sort specifically for him that is at his level. It's not necessarily at 4th grade English level, but it's at his level. So I sit with him, and I think the easiest thing for him, he's a very oral person, so he does like to discuss and give examples, but also I try and provide that pictorial support so that he can visualize kind of what we're talking about.
Bat?
What is that? Baseball.
It's what you use when you play baseball, yeah? There's another kind of bat, too. Do you know it's an animal?
Bat?
Mm-hmm.
No.
You're right. It is a bat that you use in baseball. Mm-hmm. A bat is also an animal that flies, usually at night when it's dark.
Oh, bat.
Mm-hmm. Do you know the word for bat in Spanish?
Yeah.
What's a bat in Spanish?
Murciélago.
Okay.
He understands a lot. It's the producing of the language that's always the more challenging part, the speaking and the writing. And so for him, I will often read a text aloud to him if we're doing an activity, and then I'll have him orally tell me kind of what his response is, and I'll write for him, because he's a student who gets kind of stuck on, I don't want to write because I might not spell it right. And I want to get past that because I want him to be able to participate in the activity. So I'll read something aloud for him and scribe for him.
While this scaffolding allows Gian Carlos to participate in the 4th grade classroom, he still needs some extra help as he continues learning English.
How are you?
Good.
3 days a week for about 45 minutes, Gian Carlos spends time with Elizabeth Varela, the 4th grade ESOL teacher. They focus on oral language development.
So that's a new
The
game
point
that I
is
got.
really
We
to
can play that
speak a
later
lot
if
of
I want.
English, as much English as he can, without forcing it. It has to be natural for him.
Does your person have blonde hair, yellow hair?
No.
Okay.
The other person have black hair or yellow hair.
He has learned English, though, so quickly. I think because he's motivated, and he's surrounded by English speakers.
Okay, Spot, it's a new game.
Pulling an English language learner out of the classroom for extra help is rare at Claremont. Usually, Ms. Varela works with students
great.
in
That's where we're
grade-level
gonna start
classrooms
today.
in small groups,
I know that you all
known
are
as
a little
pushing
ahead.
in.
Chapter 2, Destiny, Chapter 2. Okay.
We work closely with teachers here. The ESOL teacher is assigned to a grade level, in some cases 2 grade levels. We plan together and we team teach. For example, I work with the 4th grade team, and I push into the 4th grade teacher's classroom. When we divide students by reading levels, we will take different groups and work in different parts of the classroom. So nobody really feels like they're being pulled away from what everybody else is doing.
So in Chapter 1, Jamshed says to him, you're moving, it's too bad you're moving, but there is a silver lining.
You know, I read that. I didn't really get it.
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
an
what they mean.
expression. Do you remember what it means, Charlie?
It means there's a good side and there's a positive side, not a bad side.
There might be something good about this, right?
For those students who might want a little extra practice and some personal attention, Ms. Varela hosts a lunch bunch focused on reading and vocabulary.
So Lunch Bunch is about a 15, sometimes 20-minute time in the day when students will leave the cafeteria and come down to a hallway, a table out in the hall, wherever we find a place. And we work on extra skills.
Is most an antonym for first, best, or least?
So it depends on what they're learning in the classroom. I might work with what the teacher has asked me to do with them that they don't seem to get, or I might play a game that sort of focuses on different content area issues. We wouldn't do this if they didn't enjoy it. I'm a big believer in letting kids have their free time, their recess and their lunch if that's what they want. But for the most part, I have kids who beg me to take them at lunch.
Ms. Varela and her colleagues have made Claremont a safe and welcoming space for students like Gian Carlos, children finding their way in a new country. And that encouragement gives them the confidence to take chances as they learn to speak, read, and write in a new language.
Part of it is that the students look around and they see that the staff members are from all over the world, really. And they see that we're speaking in different languages to each other. I think it also comes from the fact that everyone is learning something. There are no true experts at everything here at Claremont. So the students for whom English is a second language, they get to be experts in their native language, in Spanish. Students see what everybody's bringing to the table.
This video production was made possible by the National Education Association.